Hello, my beautiful warriors of love and light, and welcome to Essence Divine. My name is Sabrina, and today's video is about light workers and the signs that you may also be a light worker. If you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, I often do tarot readings, and in them I discuss about 5D and light worker and the power of the light. And as I assume that most of the people watching the videos are enlightened, but it's not always the case. So I wanted to do this explainer video to explain what is a light worker and, again, the signs that you may also be a light worker. So let us begin. What is a light worker? We are a light being in a human body. The majority of the human's origins are from star systems like the Pleiades, Sirius, Arcturus, Lyra, Andromeda, to name a few. Yes, I'm talking about you out there. Millions of years ago, we descended onto Earth. We volunteered to come down to Earth to help with the building and development of this beautiful planet. I'm sure you've heard of the fall of Atlantis. Well, that catapulted many light beings to volunteer themselves to come down and help with Mother Earth and to help to ascend from the 3D that she fell into, which is a lower density vibration, and we came here to assist her to go back up to the 5D, which is the fifth dimension, which is the higher state of consciousness. And now we are living in the matrix. We're living in the third dimension, which is of low vibration, which is of low frequency, and it has kept Mother Earth stuck for thousands of years. The thing is, 6,500 years ago, systems were put into place by darker forces to make the light workers' mission more challenging. So every time we drop into a body, we are wiped of all of our memories because we had lifetimes and lifetimes of trauma that occurred within us. So we're wiped of our memory and we start with a clean slate. When we eventually wake up in that lifetime, the darker forces end our lives, and then it becomes a cycle. Like it becomes an inner and external battle for the light worker in every single lifetime. Our mission is to help Mother Gaia and humanity out of this oppressiveness that we are currently in. I realize that you still may not understand exactly what a light worker is, but it might spark something inside you, and that is enough, because it's just the right time to start the awakening process. I will do more videos on our real history and just more forays into our origins. But for now, this is my definition of what a light worker is. You are an illumination. You are a light being in a human body. Now, how do you know that you're a light worker? Side note, many of us have been programmed for thousands and thousands of lifetimes, and we only discovered that we are a light worker much later in life. If you are younger right now and you're resonating with this, then boom, good, welcome to the journey. So, number one, let's go back to childhood. Remember when you thought you saw monsters or shadows or lights around you, and perhaps some of you had imaginary friends? And do you remember that? Our parents would tell us, oh, you have an overactive imagination, or they would say, oh, you're just dreaming, or maybe you ate something wrong the night before. Remember that? Well, this was your star family. Your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors, your team, your soul family coming in and nudging and poking and saying, hey, remember who you are. But they don't have, they're not allowed to interfere with us unless we give them permission. But they're still allowed to say, cuckoo, are you there? Which they did, and they tried throughout our lifetime. So, number two, do many of you feel like you're literally an alien? Like you feel like you don't belong in this world? Like sometimes you don't even belong in your family, or in your friends. You don't see things the same way as others around you. You find yourself at a loss of words sometimes when you're with your group of friends or the family, and you're like you don't think things are funny the way they do, or you always feel like the odd man out. You're definitely not one to follow the norm. In fact, you're probably deemed weird or unsocial or unstable. That's my favorite one. Do you feel like you have number 3? Do you feel like you have a greater mission in life? Like you didn't come down to earth, or you were not born to like wake up in the morning, have breakfast, go to work, have lunch, come home, have dinner, watch TV, and go to sleep every single night. Like you feel like you're like, no, there's something else brewing inside me, but you have no idea what it is. Like you have a greater purpose in life. Yes, you do. We know that you do. Number 4. Do you have a deep connection to earth? Do you feel enriched when you're surrounded by trees and plants and flowers and animals? Do you feel calm and at peace when you're around water, ocean, rivers, seas? When you put plant your feet on the sand, you feel like you're home? Can you hear Mother Gaia speaking to you via the trees, the water, the sand, the crystals, the rocks, the seashells? Did you know that all of these things that I've just named have souls? Number 5. Are you drawn to ancient scriptures? Are you drawn to learning astrology or astronomy or the tarot? Are you interested in learning about healing modalities like crystals and singing bowls and tuning forks, energy, healing with your hands, yoga? That could be a reason. Number 6, speaking of healing, do you feel this inner need to heal everyone around you? Like your friends, your family, you're with with words, with physical comfort, with your hands, with a hug, with listening to them. Empathic is a popular term characterizing Lightworkers. Empathy is the art of taking on everyone's feelings, even if you're not doing it on purpose. But you have this need to help and to heal other people. If you feel exhausted after spending time with family and friends, it's probably because you were taking on energies that you didn't realize you were taking on. Number 7, many Lightworkers suffer from savior complex, if we need to go into psychology right now. We have an inherent need to save the world, save the animals, save the environment, save the humans, even save the demons. Go figure. It makes sense because our mission is to help Gaia ascend to the 5D. But at the same time, it's laced with ego, which is so 3D. But we can talk about this in another video. Number 8. Have you experienced a challenging childhood? Have you had to deal with a lot of trauma in your life? A lot of tragedy in your life? All of this was done on purpose. What? You say? No, I know. But it was done on purpose so that you could learn how to navigate through the darkness, which we find ourselves in right now. It was done on purpose to awaken you to your true spirit, to your true light. One day, you will look at it and embrace it for what its purpose was. Number 9. Has your intuition heightened over the current lifetime? Do you see things? Do you see spirits? Do you just see like orbs or lights? Do you hear voices and whispers? Do you feel things? Do you feel entities around you? Or do you just feel like waves or vibrations around you? Do you I already said you hear. Do you smell familiar smells of a passed on loved one, or something that triggers a past memory that doesn't even exist? There's a lot of things. These clairvoyance, clairsentient, clairaudience, these clairs are part of the Lightworker's spiritual gifts. These start to awaken as we awaken. We are currently in February 2021, even though it's a timeless video, but in 2021, the gifts and the abilities are going to boil up even more. They're going to start to come to fruition even more. It's an exciting time. Number 10. Do you dream very vividly? Do you often wake up around 3 o'clock in the morning with like messages or downloads, or just where you see things, or it's just very overactive, your dream time? Do you feel like sometimes you see future predictions? Do you often maybe see past lifetime memories that you've never really experienced in this lifetime, but they could be something from the past lifetime? So take note of that. Lightworkers often travel astrally, like in the 4th dimension, in their dream time. They meet up with other Lightworkers. They meet up with their star family. They meet up, or they see things, or they get messages. So pay attention to your dreams. Number 11. Speaking of past, do you often have deja vu? A deja vu is like you're walking in Italy, let's say, and you're like in Rome, and you're passing a street, and you're like, oh, I feel like I've been here before, but you've never been there before. You've never traveled to Italy in your lifetime, but you've been there. And you could say, oh, if you turn right, this is a cobblestone, the wind, da 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 da. It's because it's not a deja vu. It's a freaking lifetime that you've spent in your past, because we have been here for thousands of years or hundreds of years. It depends on when you've come down. But you've lived. You could have lived in 1500s in Italy. You could have lived in ancient Rome. But you've lived there. And it's not to be like pushed away when you remember these things. The best thing I would say, when you remember these you have flashes of like past lifetime moments, or just you think you're imagining things, I suggest you write them down and you journal them. And then you go back, and then as you awaken on this journey, you'll like understand this much better. Because when you get into your Akashic records, which is the library of your past, then you'll be like, whoa, this really did happen to me. So, number 12. This is the big one. Do you often feel alone in this world? There's a little thing about that, is that we were, before coming onto Earth, there was a plan, and all the light workers were meant to be dispersed throughout the planet, so that we could hold the grid lines all over, right? So we could hold, our light could anchor into every grid point on the planet, so we could help Mother Earth on every corner of the planet. So there's many of us out there that do feel alone at times, because people look at us and they think we're gray, and we can't even vocalize what we vocalize this. Like, this is exciting for me to do a video, because I'm like, oh, finally I can talk about it freely, even though I might get nasty comments, but doesn't matter. It's we felt too long like it's been us against the world, and now more and more people are awakening, and now there's less and less feelings of loneliness, but there are those moments. I can attest to that, and I'm sure you feel the same things, and it's okay, it's normal. But as we awaken and as we get closer to 2022 and 2030, the community is coming closer and closer together. it will be miraculous. All right. Number 13. Do you often feel uneasy in large crowds, like festivals and concerts or packed elevators? I understand we are in social distancing time, but we can still remember our past. It's because we feel all the feels as highly vibrational people, as light beings, as highly with our higher states of consciousness, we take on other people's energies, and we can feel, and we can also see auras around human bodies up to like 8 or 10 feet. So if you start seeing colors around people or shades of hues of color, then take a note of that too. All right. Number 14. Are you brilliant when it comes to manifesting? Are you like that vision board master? Like, can you like intend something or visualize something and then it comes true? Well, then you are a light worker, because light workers don't get their egos involved in manifestation. They have a knack at making their dreams come true, even if they don't even know how they're doing it. Number 15. Do you find yourself in a creative or healing field? Are you an artist, a writer, a herbalist, a gardener, a Reiki practitioner, an osteopath, a nurse, a carpenter? Just like creative healing, right? So an energy healer. There are many light workers who are architects, engineers, CEOs of companies, like entrepreneurs, accountants, but they have a tendency towards a creative hobby, or they like to draw, or they like to do work with their hands. So there's always a creative aspect to the light worker. Number 16. Have you ever been labeled a conspiracy theorist or a truth seeker? Light workers don't like to follow the status quo. They're not ones to follow the leaders or the rules or what they say on TV, per se. They are curious souls and they love to research into topics. They are likely the ones that are researching all that you're saying, not to one-up you, but because they want to know more and more. They like to dive deep into topics. They like to research. They like to go expand their knowledge because they have an inner knowing. Because when someone asks them, how do you know and what's your source? They're like, they don't have a 3D answer. They can't say, well, I got it in Bloomberg, blah, blah, or because they just know. The light workers know because they know. Because they know. Yeah. So I'm going to bring up another one, which I didn't want to bring up. So number 17, I'm going to bring up something else, is that inner knowing. So I brought it up in that conspiracy theorist number 16, but I want to dive a little bit deeper into that one, because for me as a light worker, I just know things. And the more awakened I get, the more I know. And it's very hard for us to express ourselves. It's very hard to explain to people how and why we know these things. But it's because we are light beings, and our light being knows everything. When you get connected to your light, you have a higher self who's been with you for all these lifetimes, who is you in a future self. We can go in another video for that. So a future self, and it's he or she or whatever, the light is able to tell you what you're feeling is right, or that it is what it is. So it's a very interesting, so if you have an inner knowing and you can't explain it, then you're a light worker. All right. Many of you, so that's it for those are the signs. Now I'm just going to go into a little bit. Many of you awakened in the past 4 years or so. Or maybe some of you have awakened 20 years ago. But the activation, the light is way stronger now, and the remembrance has risen in its frequency and vibration now. So if you've been awake in the past 4 years, let's say, I'm just pulling out a number, but you're still wavering on this journey because you find yourself falling prey to the manipulation and the mind control and the fear programming that we have all been privy to. I don't want you to beat yourself up for it, because we've all been there. We are all here to help each other out. We're a community of spiritual beings of light. We're not here, no one, I truly believe that no one is higher than you. We are all on the same level playing field. We are light and we are powerhouses. And we must remember that. If you resonated with any of these signs, then you are a light worker. And welcome to this journey. And we need you more than ever to hold and anchor your light at this current time. Many of you who are just discovering you're a light worker probably don't even know that you're already doing you're already doing your service. You're already fulfilling your mission, which is great, and kudos and thank you. But there are many types of light workers, and we have different roles. I'm just going to go through them quickly, but I'll do another video on that. We're gatekeepers, divine light keepers, healers, seers, divine blueprint holders, I will remember this, messengers, ascension guides, astral travelers, transmuters, and warriors of love and light. We all have our roles to play, and it is a beautiful, miraculous thing. I want to leave you with this. I often talk about how powerful we are as light beings. And I want you to take a moment now and breathe deeply into yourself. Breathe deeply into your heart. Breathe deeply into this knowingness and remembrance of who you are. You can't even imagine how much power you have. Remember, our light is ascending our planet that we are currently inhabiting. Our light has been sought after for thousands of years. That's how strong and worthy we are. Our light is collapsing all the egoic and oppressive financial, education, religious, political systems. Our light is saving the children. Our light is exposing the evil and dark of Hollywood and the elites. When you start understanding how much power you have, I guarantee you your life and your vision will change. And you will learn to go back to your heart space. And you will learn that your mission is based on love, compassion, happiness, sovereignty, community, and freedom. I love you. Keep shining your light. We got this.